Right, I am live. Here we go. So hopefully everybody can see what's going on. I think what I'm going to do is at the moment I'm sharing the whole screen and it's a bit awkward. So I'm going to stop that. Hello everybody, if anybody's turned up, hello. And I'm going to share my screen. I think I'm going to share Clip Studio. That's what I normally do. Yeah, it's looking good. Okay. So, to anyone who's not been here to my channel before, watching in my videos, welcome. Thank you very much for coming and watching. To those who do turn up in the chat, hello all. Hopefully there'll be some regulars there. Thank you very much for turning up and watching while I draw. I have BB Black Dog on in the background, as you can see, or hopefully here. They're friends of mine, so nobody needs to try and hit me with any ridiculous copyright strikes. So this video is me. What I'm doing is I'm actually cleaning up a page. I've done really the hard work on the pencils, and what I've had to do is I've had to go back through a few of the pencil pages. I have mentioned this before. Where I've changed the design of the imps, which are like the foot soldiers of Satana, and they're bundling through the middle of this human city, and they come across a lone woman and her child, and they decide they're going to hurt her, but our hero jumps in just in time. There she is. And there's the evil thing laughing because they're going to hurt the two. I'm quite pleased with that that panel there. I was quite pleased with that. And there's Dee walking through with Chrissy. And so what I've had to do is I've had to go back and update the imp's design in every panel that I'd done so far, which I'm just about to run out of actually. This is page 21. I think I've done about 23 pages so far. And there are only a few pages where I need to change the imps. I also needed to go back in and change the inks from the first 8 pages, which I'd already done for the PDF, for the preview, and for the website. So you can see there's the ink. So I've changed those faces there. They're now the imps. That's the final design on them. So some of them have got scars, and some of them have got facial hair. Some of them have got masks. Some of them have, like armor, helmets, and all. So I can change it up and make them look different. But there's just this. The base design is kind of the atypical orc, kind of like long ears, teeth, and that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do for this particular live stream is. Like, as I say, I've gone through and tidied up a few bits and pieces. I'm going to do this panel here, which is Dee walking towards the imps and the flying imp. I can't remember the name that I gave that guy, but they're basically going to get the crap kicked out of them. And Dee's kind of looking menacing, walking towards them. Now, I've sketched this out. I am inking myself, so the pages are a mixture. Some of them are a bit more sketchy than others, but in some places, so for instance, in the background there, I've got a taxi cab and a street scene. I'm not going to draw that twice. I'm just going to ink that up. But in some of the pencils, I kind of like to get in there. So for instance, these bottom 2 panels where Dee opens up his expanding scythe, I don't need to get into any real detail in that. I can see just where my ink strokes are going to go. But this one, I'd just like to work on a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pad this panel out with my digital pencils. I'm going to go for about an 8 pixel. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on the face, as is my wont. So if anybody saw us the other night, I was on with Storm, Lucifer Storm. I have to get out to call him Lucifer. And we had some fun. It was actually really good fun. And we reviewed a few books. Lucifer reviewed 3 books, and not all of them were great, it must be said. But what we're going to try and do is review more indie work, I think. Obviously, I'm going to keep doing the classics, keep bringing out classic heroes. We're hoping to be able to carry on for a while. We're going to get people on as well, get guests on, and the indie stuff. Will have a more prominent place, I think. I think we need to think about getting other people on, like guests, more interest, because I can only rant for so long, and then you've all heard my rants, and it becomes boring. So I think we need new blood in there. So as I've mentioned before, D is kind of like his skull appearance is completely coincidental, and the occasional near-death experiences and the odd infraction into the physical realm for one reason or another, which I hope to do more stories about, sort of like additional stories about D and his time as death, effectively, as the as a guide to the afterworld, to the afterlife. But like I say, his design is purely coincidental. That he looks like a human skull. It's just the way he is, and his design, as in his physical design, he's kind of like a sort of a biomechanical being. He's magical because the technology involved in what he is so far in advance and so far out there that it appears magical, but it isn't. It's just part of our reality, and it's effectively a godlike, literally godlike technology. So sort of ripping a little bit on the way that Marvel did Thor and Asgard. They were considered gods because they'd come to Earth at a previous time, and their technology was so far in advance of us that it seemed to be magical. They themselves were super strong and all the rest of it, so they became gods. And D, like I was saying, like I touched on earlier, D has been to Earth a couple of times before, and I'm gonna make some stories based around that aspect. They're going to be additional stories to the main story arc. I think it needs to be thinner. So I'm going to kind of get that vibe going in there. In this story, again, I don't want to give too much away, but it very much is. It's not Dee's origin story. It's not Death's origin story, but it's the origin story of how he and Chrissy get together and become the main focus of the arc of the books. Once that main focus, once I've told that story, then I can go anywhere with D. I can go anywhere in time with him, and with Chrissy. Chrissy can come along with him if I want her to. So we'll just see where that goes, because the story is fairly open-ended. I mean, I've got an arc in my head. I've kind of planned out about where it goes, but it's not set in stone. The concepts of D and the world that D and Chrissy inhabit are set. I have a whole backstory for that and a world building process. Oh, I love this song. And the God element is a character called the Supreme, and she's effectively God as far as we're concerned. There is a pantheon of higher beings above that, but we pretend not in this world. I won't be playing with those guys, not unless I absolutely have to. So it's been really warm here today. I think about 28 degrees. Apparently, it's been like 100 degrees in Siberia. Can you believe that? Fucking hell. Don't know what that's all about. Maybe it's the end of the world. just to be cheerful. Somebody at the door. Thank you. Oh, right. Okay, I'm back. Just a moment. Let's see what the chat's doing. Oh, evening all. I hope the British weather is treating you well. It's bloody mafting up north for the first time in about 1600 years. Yeah, it is. It's very warm. Very warm. Like I was saying, in Siberia, it's 100 degrees. That's bonkers. That is absolutely bonkers. Ooh. I think that was my son getting his dinner, because we're in lockdown because my wife has an operation coming up. Nothing terrible. It's just an operation that he's doing, and that's going to happen in 2 weeks' time, and we've got to be in like super lockdown. We've got to be isolating for that time. So my son's enjoying a little bit of excess as far as takeouts is concerned. I'm going to be eating some nice healthy tuna pasta later, so I won't be enjoying that. Right, so this is a sweeping piece of armour. I'll go back down to my, now that I've done the face, I should have really gone sooner than this. Now I've done the face, I should really be back down to 55. Last thing you want to be doing is drawing too much when you don't need to. I always used to be sucked into drawing too much detail or trying to do too much detail. And if this looks like it's detailed, it's not particularly. I think the thing that I look for most in the works that I love from people like John Buscema and Remitter and what have you is the economy of line. You only put in what you need to. Two things going on there. Obviously, they were masters at getting the job done and getting it done at real speed. But then on top of that, you know, but this is a personal opinion. Comic books should have comic book art in them. Now it's not to say something like, I don't know, Slain, Simon Bisley's work, and that's hugely I wouldn't say detailed. It's just, well, it is detailed, but it's got so much in it, so much content in it, and that stuff works. Okay, but it works because the guy had a long time to do the work. You know, a lot of these things take a long time to do, and what was great about what was going on in the in the 70s and 80s was they were knocking this stuff out of the park. Art, good solid work, every week. So there's always two ways of looking at it, whether it's your absolute best work or whether it's the work that you get out. But the upshot of that was that they created styles that were, even though that they had these shortcuts in them and economies of line, became attractive in their own right. That's why I say this. There's no real right way of doing it. You can do whatever you like, but personally, I like the whole concept of economy of line. Oh, somebody receiving their phone. I think people think that when I'm in here doing this, that I'm on some kind of call with Russians or something. It's like some kind of MI5 secret call. It isn't. I'm just drawing and talking shit. So back to my point. That economy of line, it just so happens that that's the kind of artwork that I truly enjoy. Those spikes aren't working. They're not working at all. The top ones are, but those ones aren't. I think they're too small. That's better. Can't be doing with that. Without ringing. That's better. That's better. Oh, it's really warm. So, slowly getting there. That's better. So I'm looking at getting all these pencils finished before the end of next month. So all 60 pages of the book. And then I'll be on to inks. So I'm sort of gauging that. What I'd really like is to have all the inks finished by the end of August. And then have some coloured pages available, obviously, to show more online. Go to my campaign at the start of September, get it all coloured and lettered, and then have a 2-month campaign and have it delivered end of October. That's what I'd like to do. So I can get this book out this year. I think if I start my full campaign in September, that'd probably be about right. And also the whole point of doing these sessions online is so that there's a record people can come see. They can see the work happening. Hopefully they can see a reasonable quality that it's, that the book has to it. And they can be interested in it. I'll sneak out some bits and pieces of story. There's also, I'll put some new character profiles up on the website as well. onlydeathcansavus.com. So just keep the content coming and hopefully get people interested. And obviously I have to start doing the rounds as well, seeing if I can get on other people's streams and talk about the book and talk about comic books in general, really. Oh, and also, something else I got my 502nd subscriber, so I will be picking out someone to send a book to. Don't have the book on me. It's the first trade paperback of Interceptor, which is kind of like a British hero in the Marvel tradition, written by Brandon Easton and J.D. Rosario by Unstoppable Comics. It's superb stuff. I'm not talking about my artwork in that. I'm talking about the story. It's great fun. I'm actually very proud of the artwork in it, though. Again, it's getting on a bit now. It's several years old, but it works. I'm really pleased with it. And the colours are by Mike Summers, who's a great colorist. And I'm actually just waiting on him right now to come back with the colours on the cover for Only Death Can Save Us. Now, although I'm going to be doing the colours myself for Only Death Can Save Us on the internal pages, because I want flat colours, I want to give it a kind of a Bronze Age feel to it, with a little bit. There'll be a few grads in there, so it's sort of like a nod to the colours of Hellboy, that kind of thing. So I want to give it its own look. But for the cover, I wanted something a bit more lush, something a bit more over the top. Mike's colours are great. They're real, current day, contemporary comic book colours, and they really zing off the page. He's such a talented man. So I wanted to do that, and then I've got the pin-ups as well, which will also be hopefully some kind of perk in the campaign as postcards. So maybe a stretch goal or something. I can give them out as postcards. So you get like a set of the 4 Horsemen postcards. I'm hoping people will like that. But I think I'll get them coloured by Mike as well, so that there's something a little bit different. And then the 2 other pin-ups I'll do myself. And then what I might do as well is I might do a one-off one of the tiers might be a one-off canvas or a printed canvas of the front cover colours, signed obviously, and also I might consider a pull-out poster maybe of the Four Horsemen together. So I've got a few things I can put in as perks or stretch goals I should say, but also things I can put in as tiers. Fire there and see if there's anybody else in the chat. Hi Hex Alan. Don't get up, I'll answer it. Very good. Oh yeah, even all. Thanks Hex. I'll take it. I'll take you up on that offer next time. Nobody else around at the moment. So hopefully people will watch on the replay. So I'm just getting some fire in here because there's a whole bunch of shit going on. They're looting and destroying the city, pillaging it, because they're just all these guys, all these imps and demons and what have you. They just want to fuck stuff up, basically. And some smoke. Take the nib down. So I won't draw in the far background, like I say. I don't see much point in doing it twice. So I just wanted to clean up this aspect of it so that when I go to inks, I'm not kind of making this stuff up. I can speed the inks up. Right. I don't know how long I've been away. Anyone tell me if anyone's still there? Where did it stop? Okay. Probably lost everybody. Anybody who was watching on the replay, thank you very much for watching. I don't know how far you got. I'll just repeat myself if I wasn't. I was just flicking through pages and making sure that they were done properly. I'm off to this one because I've got to change a costume, and then it's getting on with doing full pencils for the rest of the pages. So I've got I've got 37 other pages to do, and then I'll be on to inking for the rest of the book. Oh, it's still there. Excellent. Thank you very much, Hex. Very kind of you, seeing as my internet connection is just bummed out. So, as I was saying, these are all just perspective blocks, and I'll fill those in with ink lines afterwards. So for those of you who have been sitting here live with me while I've babbled whilst drawing and watched me put together this image of D and a few other bits and pieces, thank you very much for joining me. Sorry the internet connection is faffing about. But hopefully you saw most of it. For those who are watching on the replay, thanks very much for watching. And if you hung about while there was some downtime, thank you again. That's it from me for this session. I'll be coming back with another session real soon. I'll be back on Monday night with Lucifer. And I will be sending out a book to somebody, one of the subscribers on my subscription list, very soon. I won't be able to get out for the next couple of weeks, but it will come after that, and I'll just pop up a little video to tell everybody who the receiver of the book will be. No problem, Marv. Thank you very, very, very much for coming by and saying hi. Thank you, Wakey. Thank you, Hex, for being here. That's about it for this session. So if you have subscribed already, thank you so much. It means a huge amount that you subscribe to the channel and listen to me babble on and watch me draw, and hopefully you're enjoying that. If you haven't, subscribe now. Why not? You can catch me at russleach.com, at comicbookblackbelt.com, over at my book onlydeathcansavus.com, which will be coming to an Indiegogo near you very soon, as I suggested in the video, probably in September. But there'll be a preview page up very, very soon. And cheers, Hex. And you can also find me on Twitter and on Facebook and on Instagram as well. Just look me up. So thanks for sticking with me. That's it for me for now. I'll be back with a video again real soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.